Welcome to the Be Do Knit podcast. My name is Amy, and this is my podcast in St. Paul, Minnesota, where I talk about my knitting. So I just got back from about a week ago from the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, and it is many times just referred to as Rhinebeck. And I have for years, I think in 2018 or 2019, I asked Jen Geigley if she wanted to go to Rhinebeck with my friend Henny and I. And we were looking at places and everything. And then I just didn't go. I didn't wind up going. And I don't know if Jen went that year, but she went. She's been for the last 5 or 6 years. And I have had FOMO every single year for the last 5 or 6 years. Where I've watched a lot of Rhinebeck recaps and I watched a lot of Jen's recaps, and I just really wanted to go. And this year I finally just bit the bullet and went. I went by myself. And as many of you know, if you've been watching this podcast, I went to New York City for the first day and went to the Intrepid Museum. And that was really special because I got to see a photo of my dad and some of the pilots that were in his squadron in this museum in New York. And so it was on a carrier that was docked outside of Manhattan, kind of on the lower west side of Manhattan. Or maybe just west. I don't know. My friend who was staying with his friend in the Upper West Side, he came and met me down at the museum, and we just had an incredible time walking around in this museum, getting caught up. And it was very poignant for me because my dad's bunkmate, when he was in the Vietnam War and he was on the Intrepid, his bunkmate was a POW for 5 years, and there is a big exhibit of him. His name is Denver, and so we got to, listen to these, use these headphones and listen to him and his stories about being a POW, and it was really poignant because I've known about him my whole life. My mom and dad are very good friends with him and his wife. Both he and his wife, he just passed away. So my parents were going to his funeral while I was visiting this Intrepid Museum. So just felt very moving and touching to be thinking about him and his family and his experience at that time. So anyway, that was an incredible visit. And the first thing I did when I landed, however, was I checked in at the Ace Hotel in Brooklyn. It's a place where Jen has stayed. I've always wanted to stay at the Ace, and so that was really fun just to experience it. And, it's very modern and cool, and it was fun. I was working on this quite a bit at the Ace in my bed and on the couch, and it was really fun to take the subway, go figure out the subway. I went too far, probably 10, 12 blocks too far on the train. And I wound up having to get out and just walk the rest of the way to the Intrepid, which was totally fine. And it was kind of cool to wind up in Manhattan just walking on the street, because that was just part of the experience. It's hard to explain what it's like to be in New York, but that was really cool. So I guess I'll start the podcast. I'm going to do a Rhinebeck recap, but I think I will start by sharing what I'm wearing and then what I'm working on, a couple of whips, and what's behind me here on this dress form. What I'm wearing is Loopy Mango's super cropped Cardi. So this is just a cotton, kind of a summer-ish garment in cotton. It is really nice. I think I made the small, which is not something I normally do, but because of how chunky and oversized it is, I wanted something to go over this dress. And so I kind of made it in a smaller size, thinking, and it does work, that it could more easily go over this dress. If the dress is really voluminous, so if the top, the cardigan, was also voluminous, that just wouldn't work. And so I wanted it to be small and cropped so that the dress could, you know, shine, I guess. So anyway, that's what this cardigan is. And it's made with, I think it's called the Big Cotton from Loopy Mango. And yeah, that's that. And then also on the trip, and especially on the plane ride back from Rhinebeck, I was working on my half and half triangles wrap. So I'm making some progress. As you can see, it's kind of like matching my dress and what I'm wearing. But this is the progress on my half and half triangles wrap. And this is Pearl Soho's linen quill is the yarn. It takes forever because, yeah, it's a big skein of yarn. You go through 2 of these skeins of linen quill in one color, and then you make this big triangle, and then you attach the other one and you get a whole other triangle in another color. So it's going to take a while, but that's fine with me. I've been working on this for a couple of years. So it's just kind of with me whenever I need a simple project that's small and compact, and yeah, it was perfect for the plane. So anyway, and then what's behind me is the framed sweater by Andrea Mowry. And when I was in New York, I was at the Ace, I was working on the shoulder area. And then when I got to my Airbnb in Catskill, I did I can't remember. I think it's a 3-needle bind off. Yeah, I think it is. But anyway, I did this 3-needle bind off when I was up there. And then I was going to maybe wear it as a vest to Rhinebeck. But then I brought so many knitted outfits. I was just like, I don't know if I want to wear a whip. And it was kind of cold enough where it was like, didn't make sense necessarily to wear a vest. So I didn't do that, but I could have. I could have wore it as a vest to Rhinebeck. I had the perfect dress to wear under it, but that's okay. Then today, this weekend, I picked up the sleeves and did 2 charts worth of color. So I started with the yellow salty dog in Spincycle. And then I added Shades of Earth, which is what Andrea used on hers. But I did 2 rounds of that. And then I put those stitches on hold using a barber cord because I wanted to go over and do this side to more closely match the blues on both sides. So if I had kept going, I would be, you know, Spincycle, because it's color changing yarn. I didn't want it to be this shade of blue and then some other random shade of blue when I got to this sleeve. So I put these on hold, went over here, did the yellow and blue so that I could kind of coordinate. And I might have to do 2 sets of the chart on this side, 2 on that side, until I get to the right length so that I'm somewhat using the same shade of Spincycle in Shades of Earth. I'm less concerned about the yellow. I feel like that blends a little bit more, but the Shades of Earth, as you can see here, it goes from sort of a blue to purple, kind of a hot pink, back to kind of mustard purple, and then a teal. So anyway, it really changes throughout the skein. So I kind of I'm doing a little color management by doing the sleeves at the same time. Like doing it, you know, one sleeve and then the other, one and then the other. If I had another US 7, which I know I do, I don't know where I put it, but it's in one of my bags that came back from Rhinebeck. I have my size 5 and 7 needles. So I have to find those. I don't know where they are, but I have another set that I bought actually at Pick Up Every Stitch on the trip. So, yeah, so that is what I'm doing there. And then, yeah, so back to Rhinebeck. Those are my 2 whips that I'm working on right now. And this is what I'm wearing finished object. So, back to the trip. So that was really fun to go to the Intrepid with my friend. And then the next day was Thursday. And on Thursday, I woke up and I didn't have to check out of the hotel until noon. And so I just luxuriated at that hotel on this bed with great comforters. And I mean, it was just kind of a luxury to be there. And so anyway, I stayed there. I went to the little bagel place next door, which is called Black Seed Bagels, I think. And then I went to this really great coffee shop around the corner from there and got a really good third wave coffee. I mean, it was so good. I think I just got a Americano, but it was excellent. And I said, I'll take the biggest cup of coffee that you have. And he's like, the biggest one is 12 ounces. I'm like, that's fine. You know, I think some of those like fancier coffee shops, they don't do, you know, like a 16, 20 ounce coffee. That's, yeah. So anyway, they only had a 12 ounce and that was just fine with me. So I got an amazing coffee. The bagel was okay. The pastry I got was incredible from that same coffee shop. And I will put in a photo of this pastry. It was kind of like a croissant, but also had chocolate in it. So good. I think the bagel would have been better if I had toasted it, but I didn't toast it. And so it was multigrain everything. And the combination of those 2 things without being toasted, it was just like, I don't know, left a little to be desired, I think. I probably should have toasted it. But anyway, from there, so I stayed there as long as possible. And then I finally checked out and went to go back to the airport to LGA to pick up a rental car. So I got my rental car and then I made my way up the Hudson River towards, you know, all these little towns where these yarn events were going to be. And the first place I stopped, which was a little out of the way, but near New Haven, I believe, a little town called Mount Kisco, New York. Maybe it's not little, but it was so quaint and it reminded me of the Gilmore Girls. I could just see episodes of the Gilmore Girls happening in Mount Kisco. So anyway, that was such a cute town. It was just so picturesque and so cool. So anyway, in Mount Kisco, New York is Pick Up Every Stitch, which if you watch Knit Together with Kim and Jana, you will have seen that shop many, many times. And so it was a thrill to be there. I was expecting to see Jana because of there was something going on in Kim's life. If you follow her on Instagram, where I thought, I don't know if Kim is going to be here. And I really didn't think I would see her. And, but first I ran into Kevin and Ray from, Needles at the Ready. And that was so exciting to meet them. I like those first meetups of knitters that I only knew virtually I was gooning. Like I was just like so excited to meet them in real life. So I met Kevin and Ray and then in walks Kim from Kim and Jana, Knit Together with Kim and Jana. And I could not believe it. For those of you who watched my early episodes in Vlogmas, Kim around Christmas time, 2023, gave me a shout out on her YouTube channel and like got me so much visibility to many of you who are still watching that, you know, maybe joined at that point in time. But anyway, it was really special to meet her. And Jana was actually the one who was unable to make it. But it was just so surreal to see Kim in real life and like, you know, just like look in her eyes, you know, you can't really at this distance really see someone's eyes, but when you're standing there with them in person, I don't know. It just, her eyes struck me when I saw her. So anyway, it was so great to see her, gave her a huge hug and just chatted with her for a bit. So, and then got to chat more with Kevin and Ray, and also get to meet Karen and Felicia, who own Pick Up Every Stitch together. And then also their Beth McDonald Stone, I think is her name. I have never knit one of her patterns, but I knew who she was, but I hadn't knit one of her patterns. But anyway, and then also from the knitting posse, Kim was there. And Kim was such a joy to talk to. And I really want to make the Norma sweater. I think it's by My Favorite Things Knitwear. And I was looking for the perfect yarn for my Norma sweater. And Kim from the Knitting Posse helped me find it. And at first I kind of balked because it's a really special yarn, but I wound up just going for it because it's just so good. So anyway, it's Camellia Fiber Co. And it is, I believe it's cashmere, is it? It's CFC Sylvan DK, 70% alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. So it's only 10% cashmere, but it feels like more than that because of the alpaca and silk. So alpaca, silk, cashmere. It's going to have some drape, but it is so glorious. I mean, this is so soft and luscious, and it's DK weight. I won't have to hold it with mohair, which I really don't want to do because mohair makes things so hot, and I'm so hot all the time. I'm really hot right now, honestly. It is only, I think, like 58 degrees outside, but I'm so hot right now. Anyway, so Camellia Fiber Co. This is going to be so perfect. And I am holding it with Rowan Norwegian wool, which I already have in stash, which makes me very happy. So for the Norma sweater, these are going to be my colors. And I could not be more thrilled. I'll pop up a picture of the Norma sweater so you know what it looks like. But these are my colors. So very excited about that. I only needed 4 skeins. It came in a pack of 5, but I only needed 4. So Karen and Felicia opened up the pack and got me the 4 skeins. And then I was on my way out of Pick Up Every Stitch, and I came across this bag. And I was wearing something that was kind of like a red orange, kind of like this color. And they were all just like, you need this orange bag. You have to have it. And Kevin and Ray got in on it, and they're like, yes, you need that bag. So I just went for it. But look at the tag on it. It says, for flock's sake. So good. So anyway, it's a great bag. It's got kind of like these, it's got a little thing to cinch it at the top. It's got tons of pockets. There's pockets in the front. There's pockets inside. It would be a great sweater quantity yarn bag, and I am thrilled about it. So happy with this bag. And then, I mean, I'll talk about this later, but when I got to Indie Untangled, I met the gal who sells these. These are her bags. And we were wearing the exact same glasses. I have my glasses on, and she had hers on, and then I put mine on. I was like, what? We have the same exact glasses from Warby Parker. So anyway, we had a fun moment and got a picture together and yada, yada, yada. So that was about it for Pick Up Every Stitch, day 1. Like I said, the town was so sweet. I went to a local diner and I think it was called the Mount Kisco Diner, got dinner and just sat there, and Kevin and Ray had just been there for dinner, and so they had talked about these fries with this cheese on top, and I got it. I couldn't eat barely any of it. I had a few fries and a big burger, and it was just exactly what I needed. So to get back on the road and get up to Catskill to my Airbnb and continue with the trip. So I got to my place and it was already dark out, and there were a bunch of like big trucks. I don't know if there was like some kind of construction company that's right next door to my Airbnb, but I was like a little nervous because there were like all these big dude trucks, and I'm the single woman traveling by herself and like showing up at night at this Airbnb, but it was fine. I used my flashlight on my phone and got into the place, and it was just a great little space. And I'll show you a photo of the space right now. And it also had a hot tub in the back, which was awesome because after walking around these yarn festivals all day long, it was great to come back to my Airbnb, grab dinner, sit down, have a glass of wine. I started watching this precious show called Lark Rise to Candleford. So if you like period pieces, I think it's on BritBox, and it's called Lark Rise to Candleford. And it is the sweetest show. I love it so much. I started watching it there, and now I got home and I'm on season 2 now of watching this show. It's just so sweet. But anyway, yeah, so on Friday, so I had a ticket to Cakepalooza from 12 to 2, then Untangled from 2 to 4, and then a Woolen Affair from 10 to 6. So I could have gone to Woolen Affair, gone back to Cake, gone to Indy, but it just made sense to go to Cake, Indy, and then Woolen Affair. So it was going to be tight, with the 2 to 4 at Indy Untangled to get to a Woolen Affair for just like the last 2 hours. And I didn't quite realize how long of a drive it would be from Indy to a Woolen Affair. And so I'm a little bummed that I didn't leave Indy Untangled a little earlier so that I could get there sooner, because a Woolen Affair was really special. But anyway, started the day out really easy breezy, had some breakfast at my place. Then I went to Cakepalooza, which was in Saugherties. So Cakepalooza is set up in sort of a parking lot area, and you just park on the street, and there are these time slots where they have people come through so that they can get more people through the festival. So the first one was Cakepalooza. It was great. I saw many people that I follow online. One of them was Chelsea Yarns. So Christina and Red Bank Mike, that was a hoot to meet them. But when I first got there, we had to stand in line, those of us who were there for the 12 o'clock slot, and then they would open it up and then you can come in. So when I first got there were these amazing leather bags, knitting bags. I would love to get one of those. They were incredible. I'll share a photo with you, but those things were awesome. And then the next thing, I met a couple of people who watched the podcast, which was so fun. My meetup was kind of a little bit of a flop, but I met people just organically throughout the days. And so that was kind of fun. And I brought these cute little stitch stoppers to hand out. And that was fun to have those to pass out to people. So I had some that were I got these little bags. I used ChatGPT to put a logo together super quick on the fly. And then Sticker Mule, I ordered those from Sticker Mule. And then I got these little plastic bags and these stitch stoppers just from Amazon. But these were really cute, the little mushrooms. And then I got here's a Monstera leaf. So the next time I do a giveaway, I'll give these away. And then here's some mustard cactus. And then there's some green cactus and a Monstera. But anyway, yeah, those were really fun to have and to be able to pass out. I think I gave one to Kim and Jana, and yeah, it was fun. So whenever I would meet a viewer, I would hand those out. And if you didn't get one, I'm so sorry. But it was so fun to meet you. So thank you so much to everyone who watched my podcast and came up and said hello. It was just so fun to meet you, and so great to, just to see people in real life, because it is always really fun to read the comments, but it was also very thrilling to meet people in real life. So thank you for saying hi. And Anyway, so one of the first places I went to at Cakepalooza was this Tuft company. She has all these really amazing soaps. And so this Tuft Woolen sock soap. So you can use this soap to wash your knitwear. So you just kind of like, I asked her how to do it. You just like use the soap, put it in your hands a little bit, and then suds it up and put it in your water and put your knits in there. And so this one smells like bergamot and pine. It's so good. So anyway, that's what that looks like. And then I also got from her some lip. I asked her, what do you use? What product of yours do you use the most? And she said the lip balm. So I got this lip balm. And does this have a scent? I can't remember, but I got the lip balm. And then I got this. This is hand and body balm, lanolin rich. And this is hoewood and grapefruit flavored. So I am super excited to try that. It smells so good. Oh, that grapefruit. Yum. So anyway, that was pretty cool to meet her and to buy some of her products. I've heard about her over the years watching Rhinebeck recaps. So, and then I went to the cake. So the woman who puts on Cakepalooza, she has a yarn company. I think it's like Cake Woolen Co. And so anyway, met her. She was wearing this incredible mohair dress that she had designed. It is awesome. I'll pop up a picture, but it was so cool. And you can either make the dress with the pattern or just like a shirt with it. So either way, it's a great pattern. So I loved meeting her. I noticed her dress before I even noticed she was Cake Woolen Co. So, and I was asking her about the dress. It's just awesome. So anyway.
Is this your booth too?
Yes.
Cake. And out of...
This is my studio parking lot.
This is your studio parking lot.
So there's that. Then I ran into Kamika. Kamika has the cupcake brand or company. And so I bought a cupcake and I asked her what her original cupcake was. And it was the red velvet. So I got a red velvet cupcake and I waited until I got back to my place so I could have a cup of coffee and that cupcake together. And I think I even had it at night because I was just like, I wanted to have the cupcake with some coffee, but I didn't care. It was nighttime. I just had that cup of coffee. It was just yummy. So that was super good. So then I went over and I met Red Bank Mike and Christina from Chelsea Yarns. And that was awesome. And at their booth, they had a sweater that was hanging up that I really loved. And they had run out of the yarn in the booth, but they had some more in the, their vehicle. So Red Bank Mike went to go get it. This is what it is. This is the yarn. It's 100% superwash merino, 240 yards. This is the Luxe Cozy DK. Local hand-dyed fibers. So this is it. And what is the colorway? The color is Chelsea's Coupe. I think that's what it's called. Chelsea's Coupe. Look at that thing. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my gosh. I had picked out 4 skeins and Christina, she was like, don't take these, take these 4. So she must have seen something in there that she was like, oh no, I think these are the ones you want. And then I'm holding it with their rose gold mohair. It's 70% Super Kid mohair and 30% mulberry silk, 437 yards. And this is the colorway rose gold. And yeah, it's the Luxe mohair. So these two together. And I needed 4 skeins of this and then 2 skeins of the rose gold mohair. So I'm pretty excited. And it was fun to talk to Mike because he's from St. Paul, Minnesota. So we had fun talking about St. Paul and Anyway, it was just so fun to talk to them and meet them. And they are a hoot. I don't know if you ever watch their YouTube podcast, but Christina, when she goes out in the morning, she brings bananas to her chickens and feeds them some banana. And she sings to her chickens, and it is the sweetest thing. And she always goes out there, good morning to you. I mean, it is hilarious and sweet. So anyway, that was fun to meet them. And then I met these gals who were all wearing the Celeste sweater, and they were taking a photo in front of the Cakepalooza sign. And it was just so picturesque. One of the gals, I don't know if she watches my podcast or if she just liked my skirt, but she wanted to get a photo together. So anyway, we took a photo together, and yeah, it was really fun to see all those Celeste sweaters. That is definitely a colorwork sweater that is on my list to make. It's by Petite Knit, gorgeous colorwork sweaters. So that was cool. And then I saw a lot of fish sweaters from Caitlin Hunter. So those are great. The fish, it's like halibut and maybe salmon sweaters from Caitlin Hunter. Those are great. So anyway, those were fun to see. And I think that's all I bought. Oh no, I also, from this gal called The Sexy Knitter on Instagram, she had these really cute stitch markers. These little veggie stitch markers. Aren't those cute? So cute. So anyway, I bought these stitch markers from her, and it was fun to chat with her for a little bit. I was kind of in the business, and I was looking for one of those leather ruler bracelets that you can wrap around your wrist 3 times. I don't have a super wide wrist, I don't think, but she wrapped it around 3 times, but it was like snug. It wasn't like loose. And I wanted it to be loose, like a bracelet that was loose, and it was just not loose. So I didn't get it, but I am looking for that bracelet. I would love to have one. Anyway, the next event that I went to was Indie Untangled. And that was literally just down the street from Cakepalooza in Saugherties. So that space was really nice. It's like there are 3 barns, very spread out. And I think it might be an equestrian style, like some kind of horse events happen there. I don't know what you call it, but anyway, it was very spread out. Lots of room to move around, and they had some food trucks, and I got some mac and cheese there on my way out because I was starving. By that time, it was like 4:00 and I hadn't had lunch. So anyway, there was a mac and cheese truck, and I think it was like buffalo mac and cheese. It was really tasty. But anyway, at Indie Untangled, that's like a lot of independent indie dyed yarn companies, and the gal who has For Flock's Sake was there. There were a lot of other people. I'll pop up a video of both Cakepalooza and Indie Untangled and my experience at each of those, and just kind of show you like what that looked like. But I'm trying to think, did I buy anything there? This is really weird. I don't think I purchased anything at that event. When you show up at these events, like here was the Cakepalooza map. So you kind of get a map of the area. Like this was the one in the parking lot. And then I don't think I have my Indie Untangled. When I got to Indie Untangled, the one thing I had already pre-ordered was this bag. So this is the Indie Untangled bag for the year. This tote. And what's really great about it, you know, just to protect your yarn from moths and stuff, is it has a zipper. So, and then when you get to the event, you get like this little wristband so they know you're checked in and good to go. I had pre-ordered my ticket and my bag. So I picked up the bag and made my merry way. I ran into Kevin and Ray again, which was really fun. And they were hanging out with some of the guys. I think his name is Michael from Piece for Piece. And then a couple of other guys that they did Tube Dudes. They did like a whole series of YouTube videos around like the holidays, like I think end of November timeframe. and I watched Tube Dudes, so it was really fun to meet them in person, and I got them to take a picture with me in front of the Indie Untangled sign because I was like just kind of by myself, and it seemed weird to take a photo by myself. So they joined me, which was really sweet. But anyway, yeah, so Indie Untangled was really great. I mean, I walked around, I saw so many great sweaters, met a bunch of people, and yeah, it was a great location. For some reason, and I have no idea why, I didn't wind up buying anything there, which is fine, you know? Sometimes you're just, I think, you know, who I saw there was North Bay Fiber Company. And I would love to at some point buy yarn from North Bay because it felt really great. That yarn seam is really, and I know it's local to the area, at least in the upper eastern United States. So maybe they're from Maine. I don't know where they're from, but I would love to use their yarn at some point and experience it because it was really great. And they had an amazing red colorway that I really want to try out. The guy said, now's the time to get it. This is brand new colorway, brand new yarn. But I don't know. I felt like I had already spent a bunch of money between Chelsea Yarns and this Camellia Fiber Co. So I was trying to like pace myself a little bit, but it was a great event. And so from there, I got my mac and cheese. I ate in the car, and then I headed out to a Woolen Affair. And when I plugged in the address and saw how far it was, I was like, oh no. And then it took me to the wrong, like a old hotel in the beginning. And then I put in, that was already 45 minutes in. So I left Indy around 4 o'clock. It was already like 4:45, 5 o'clock by the time I got there to this wrong address. And then I put in the address again. It said 45 minutes again. I was like, what? But it was actually just down the street. So anyway, it was a little bit of a kerfuffle to get there. But once I arrived, it was so incredible. Just walking up, you park in this parking lot, and then I walked up to this Hutton, I think it's called the Hutton Yards or something like that. Incredible location right on the river. And it was so special. I mean, when I arrived and saw the Woolen Affair sign, it's such a pretty sign. And then you go down and you get this little flyer thing. And it has all of the vendors inside and a map, a festival map. And so anyway, it was really cool. And I was kind of bummed. I think I heard some music when I first got there, but then it ended. And so anyway, there was like an area with a stage and music and drinks. And I just wished I had gotten there earlier, but you know what? There's always next year. It's fine. Or the year after. I don't have to go next year again. But it was just quite a scene. Like the signage was so beautiful, and like just the setting and the river and the lighting, it was like dusk. And so there were these like lights, and it was just so pretty. And so anyway, one of the first places I stopped, I saw, where is it? Oh, one of the first places I stopped, I got some stitch markers from Making Treasures. So it's just like a stocking and a rainbow and a cloud stitch marker. And I had to get this one because of Cloud. My dog's name is Cloud. But those were really sweet. And then from there, I went over to the Myak booth, and I saw Paula was working the booth, and it was fun to meet her. She was wearing this incredible shawl around her neck. It was like a shawl cowl, and it was awesome. And if I hadn't already spent so much money on yarn, I probably would have gotten that. It was like $104 for this kit for this shawl. It looked incredible. So I'll pop a picture up of her wearing the shawl and then me wearing the shawl. Such a cool shawl. But anyway, I also saw this Tibetan Cloud yarn. So their yarn comes, this Tibetan Cloud comes exclusively from an ancient breed of sheep that roam freely on the grassland of the Tibetan Plateau at an altitude of over 4,000 meters. Out of a deep respect for the animal welfare, the sheep are sheared by nomads in the traditional way that has been used for centuries. Tibetan cloud is the result of using the finest and softest hearth of that wool, creating a yarn that is exceptionally light and soft, sliding across your hands as clouds that float across the Tibetan sky. I mean, come on. And this color is gorgeous. I have a whole sweaters quantity of, I think it's called Deep Lake by Green Mountain Spinnery in Deep Lake. And it's this same color, but this, I just love that this came from Tibet, from, you know, from this ancient breed of sheep. And yeah, it's really cool. So I'm excited to use this. Maybe I thought maybe I would make a hat or a scarf or something, just like a one skein project. Love this color. So that was the first thing there. And then last year, I made the Plumped Up Cowl by Andrea Mowry, and I bought this kind of blue color yarn and then this yellow, this bright yellow. And what I really wanted to get was the color that Andrea Mowry used, which was this Dear Diary. And maybe this is going to be too close or too, I don't know. But I love lavender and yellow together, and I think this would look really pretty. So I might make another Plumped Up Cowl. I got a couple of skeins of this Dear Diary colorway, and I already have this yellow. So we will see. But yeah, picked that up from Spincycle and got to meet Kate from Spincycle, and I took her picture with, she knits like really old fashioned, like knitwear from the 40s. Oh, Squidney Knits. So I met Kate from Spincycle and Squidney Knits, and I got their picture together. And that was really fun. So from there, I just kind of milled around. I mean, the place was, a Woolen Affair was closing at that point. I mean, I got there late. I spent quite a bit of time at the Myak booth looking at yarn, and then things started to kind of like wind down there a little bit. But I did meet up with Susie from Fiber MacGyver, and I had used this mineral Sari silk in my ooey gooey cowl. So I needed to buy more of this because I had purchased it for a project. So I got 2 skeins of this mineral again. And this one is like a little bit lighter, I feel like, than the one that I used in my ooey gooey cowl. So I'm excited to use this one now. This is just so luxurious and soft. I love this yarn. So I picked that up from Susie, and it was great to see her and see everybody in her booth. Anyway, so I met up with her, and then what else did I get? Then I kind of ran around. I saw the gals from Magpie Fibers, which was really fun to bump into them and see their booth. And then right across the way, or not far away, was Clinton Hill Cashmere. And I just have a thing for this cashmere yarn. I mean, for obvious reasons, it's so soft, luxurious. And I looked at a lot of their samples, but I just wound up getting 1 skein of Clinton Hill Cashmere just to try it out. And I figured I could make, I don't know, a small little hat or maybe a Sophie scarf or something using this. So we'll see. And it came with this Clinton Hill Cashmere bag to put it in. So I got that. And then, oh, I forgot, when I got to Cakepalooza, somebody was out in the parking lot for our time slot. Like there was a line for our time slot, 12 to 2. And they were kind of like tossing out little skeins of yarn. So I got this little mini skein during that little toss up. And that was fun. So I'll have to use that for something, some kind of scrappy project. And then, yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up that day. I went to the restaurant at a Woolen Affair is like set on this property that is, I mean, I'm sure it's just like an event property because it's perfect for like a wedding or something like that. Um, there's a lawn area, and then there's this really cool outdoor restaurant facing the Hudson River, and it's in Kingston is the town. And that was a cool town. Like I think I would want to spend a little bit more time in Kingston. I thought that was a really cool town. And then what else was there? Oh, there are these really cool modern rental units that you can stay in at a Woolen Affair, and I would not mind staying there next time I go. It was super cool. Plus, I love the town of Kingston. It just looked like had a good vibe driving through the downtown area, so I would not mind staying there next time and then being closer to a Woolen Affair. And then trying to get the Indie Untangled and the Cakepalooza tickets early in the day so I have 4 hours at a Woolen Affair. That would be perfect. So that is the plan for next time. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to try to make that happen. So that's Friday. Friday was a big day. There was like 3 events, driving around, going to these 3 different events and then back to Catskill. So that was kind of a bigger day of driving and events and all the things. But the last thing at a Woolen Affair, I got this like wood-fired pizza and a salad, and like I just took it out to the parking lot and ate it in the car because it was getting really chilly outside and I did not have appropriate clothing on to sit outside. So I went back there and I had already gotten a glass of wine and I put it in this like to-go cup thing. I went and brought my pizza and salad to the car with this little cup of wine. And I ran into Emily from the Botanical Knitter in the parking lot. And I was like, yes, this is a glass of wine and I'm going to my car. And she goes, I'm from Wisconsin, so I didn't even think anything of it. That was so funny. I don't know why. It cracked me up. But anyway, I enjoyed getting to know Emily a little bit. We just got to talk a few different times and I really enjoyed talking to her. So anyway, that was Friday. Saturday, I woke up, got in the hot tub right away. I didn't feel like getting in the hot tub at night necessarily at my rental place, but in the morning I would go in there with my coffee and it was just awesome. So yeah, got up, left my little Airbnb and made my way to Rhinebeck. So Rhinebeck, walking in that first day, it was so exciting. I mean, just having heard about it for years and years and then just getting there. When I got there, it was probably like 10 o'clock. I don't know, but I was already like the parking was pretty full. And so I was a ways back. So you kind of had to hoof it up there. But gates open and it's just yarny things, events, people, animals, knitting, yarn companies, all knitting accoutrements. I mean, it was just like everything you can imagine. Woolly and knitty and amazing. So lots of food vendors. I think one of the first places I went when I got there was, where did I go? I don't know. I walked in, I think I went that day. Oh, I know. One of the first things I did, I knew that Sari Nordlund and Olga Putano were going to be in, I think it was Barn B, where Lina Publishing was. And so I went in there and I first went up to Olga Putano. I saw her book. This is Field Notes by Olga Putano. I saw this book. I really love that sweater on the front, that color even. I just want to make this thing in this color. Anyway, and then I got to meet her, the knitwear designer and author of this book. So that was super fun to see her. And here's a picture of her in the sweater. It's just a gorgeous cable knit sweater in this kind of purple tweedy yarn. And anyway, she signed my book, and that was super fun to meet her. And yeah, it just says, "To Amy, happy knitting, Olga." So yeah, I'm excited to make this one. And I wonder what that yarn is. This pattern is called Candyland. So it's in this book, Field Notes, and it's called Candyland, probably because it's this tweedy color that has a lot of different colors in it. But the yarn is Hedgehog Fibers Tweedy, and that's 50% Falkland Merino wool and 37% recycled wool and 13% Hedgehog Fibers thread waste in the color Lullaby. So anyway, super excited to make this sweater someday. Hopefully they don't get rid of that colorway. I might have to buy it soon, just in case. But I love the split hem on that thing. Look at that. Gorgeous. So anyway, fun to meet her. And then I was wearing my book club cardigan. So the next person I went to, I actually walked away, and then I realized their tables were right next to each other. So I had to walk back. Sari Nordlund was right next to her, and she had her book Softly, Timeless Knits. This book is so good. I mean, just the photos in this book are so incredible. It's like all set in probably Finland, but they're just like these beautiful European, I don't know, cityscapes. So that was Paris. I mean, so gorgeous. Anyway, this book is awesome. I was wearing my book club cardigan, so I was thrilled to meet her with that cardigan on. And in my book, when she wrote, "To Amy, I loved seeing your book club cardigan at Rhinebeck. Sorry." And it was her first time at Rhinebeck, and it was my first time at Rhinebeck. So it was so special to meet her. I kind of gooned out and told her I was 4% Finnish because she's from Finland. I mean, I was just like out of my mind, fangirling. But it was really fun to meet her. So from the book barn, I will call it, there was like all these knitting books. I'll pop up some video footage of that. From there, so you get your book and you have it signed, but then you got to like kind of go down the barn and pay for it at the end of the barn. So that was a bit of a crowded barn, but from there, I just kind of like started wandering around, and this was the same day, Saturday, where Andrea Mowry was going to have her meetup and I was going to have my meetup. So I had my meetup at 1:00 behind Fiber MacGyver, and I didn't see anyone. If any of you wound up coming over to Fiber MacGyver's booth to meet up with me and you didn't realize I was in the back of the booth, I'm so sorry. I did not advertise it very well. I just kind of like announced it here. But yeah, I was back there for a while, and I was like, uh-oh, I wonder if people are in the front, like outside the booth, and I'm in the back, because I said the back, but who knows? But really, it didn't matter, because I ran into so many people that watch the podcast just out in the fairgrounds. So I wound up seeing people anyway. So hopefully, if you were planning to meet me at the booth, we ran into each other outside the booth. But anyway, it was so sweet of Susie to, set up. She like had a little blanket set up, and then it wound up that Susie and I and a couple of her staff just wound up kind of like hanging out back there for a little while. And it was a nice, quiet, resting kind of space and time during the festival. So it was great just to have that time. So anyway, right next to Fiber MacGyver's booth was this handcrafted artisan button company called Haulin Hoof. what is it? Haulin Hoof farm store. So this little place had the coolest buttons. I got these toggle buttons, which was awesome. And then I got these kind of color work buttons. If I made gosh, if you made this in a cardigan and then use these, that would be so cool. But I love red and turquoise are my favorite colors. When I saw this, I was like, I have to have those. And then this would just be perfect for some kind of cable knit or any kind of cardigan with buttons. How cute are those? So I threw down on these buttons. They were not cheap, but they are so good. So anyway, all of these I'm just thrilled about. And then from there, I went to Andrea Mowry's meetup, and it was so incredible. There were so many people who made that ooey gooey sweater and the ooey gooey cowl. It was unbelievable. I'll put some footage up here, but you will not believe all the knitters and all the ooey gooey sweaters and cowls out there. It was so amazing. I just thought, and she's a knit star. I mean, when she walked up, it was just like, there's Andrea. And everybody's like looking at Andrea. And like, I zoomed in on I took a video of her and I was like following her. And she was like trying to like acclimate to, she said it was the biggest meetup she's ever had at Rhinebeck. It was massive. There were probably 200, 300 people that knit this sweater or cowl standing on the hill. So it was pretty incredible. My camera's going to die. When I took a break because my camera was running low, I used this cup from Staircase Ceramics. It's my Garden Ghost mug, and I just wanted to share it with you. I don't know if I've shared it on the podcast yet, but this is my favorite little mug. It's called my Garden Ghosty mug from Staircase Ceramics. She is such a genius. I love this thing. Anyway, it's perfect for the season, and I just thought I'd share it with you. Anyway, after the meetup on the hill with Andrea Mowry, I got this. She was passing out, Farmer's Daughter Fibers was there, and she was passing out these stickers. I got a photo with her. And then the DRK 2025 Rhinebeck sweater knit along sticker. Got this from Andrea. Kind of fun. And anyway, I think I have shown you everything I purchased. I told you about everything I did. On Sunday, I went back. Oh, one other thing is that I picked up some more Utopia Bath Limited Best Hand Cream Ever. It is sheep's lanolin, orange, and clove. So this is my favorite scent from that company. I know a lot of people like the white birch one. I think that's Andrea Mowry's favorite, but I got this orange and clove. It is my absolute favorite hand lotion. So you can purchase this lotion on Etsy. So if you want to get some of this, it's incredible. And I just love the smell. It is just, this orange and clove just smells like Christmas to me. I've heard people say that about the white birch one too. So anyway, yeah, I think that's all I have today. What a great trip. I can totally see going again. I went by myself and it was great. I mean, I think it was good to go by myself the first time. I would love to go with somebody else the next time, just, you know, for the evenings and kind of the exploring around factor. It would be fun to be with somebody too. I can see that being fun. Susie from Fiber MacGyver asked if I wanted to work the booth this year, and I just felt like it was probably just too much with all the things that I didn't see. Like, one of the things that I did that was really fun was I got to see some sheep herding dogs, herding sheep, and that's great. I mean, my dogs are sheep herders, so it was really fun to watch those dogs herding sheep. It was fun to watch. I watched some dogs like catching frisbees and things like that, but what I missed was the llama parade. There was like a llama and goat parade, and I missed that. So maybe next time I will catch that parade. That would be really fun. But outside of that, it was an awesome trip, and just driving around, driving to all of these little small towns along the Hudson River was just so scenic and beautiful, and I cannot wait to do it again. So that's all I have to share with you today. I hope you have something great on your needles, and happy knitting!